Sanbonani Dumelang, and welcome back to Let's Folk It Out. My name is Ketutula Sponi Samsane, and today marks a very great day, people. We are telling our first story. So a couple of weeks back, we announced that we are trying to create the biggest online platform of proud South African stories. Not stories that we'll never see on the tablet because we're not famous, but stories about real people, people like me and people like you. So welcome to Let's Folk It Out, and this is my story. And today joining us in the studio, because hey, we kind of upgraded, right, is Boitumelo, Lejage. And the reasoning behind that is, they say charity starts at home. So I decided that my first story will be then going to my best friend who's going to share what his story has been like. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Boitumelo Lejage.
Hey man.
Good day, sir.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Well, how are you?
Good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for the invite.
I wasn't sure if you're going to accept, because I know you're not always like this thing of being in front of the camera.
I do not.
Yeah.
Not my favorite thing.
It's not your favorite thing?
No.
But sometimes you got to do the things that we don't want to do, you know?
Yeah. For our friends, of course.
So the friendship. It's for the friendship. So Mwani, so like I said, is the channel is all about telling stories, right? And today I want to share your story with the people. You know, there's a reason why I invite people to the show, or I ask people to share stories, is because sometimes we think we don't have a story, but we actually do. And every story has a lesson. So today we want to kick off with your story, and perhaps just to kind of kick it off is maybe just tell us a bit about yourself. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know me, but I guess your audience doesn't.
No, you guys don't know him, right? No.
Check me on the Twitter. No. So yeah, as you've said, my name is Boitumelo Lejage. Lejage. I'm a double barrel man.
Don't forget partner.
Please don't mention that to the people. Not my most preferred name, but yeah, it is one of my names.
Yeah.
I'm a young guy, turning 26 this year. I grew up in Pretoria. I grew up in a township called Garangua. Not many people know of it, but it's it's a big township there. I grew up there for about 10 to 12 years of my early childhood life. And then at some point I moved to an area around Pretoria North called Orchards. And that's where I lived out the rest of my high school years.
Yeah.
I grew up with two parents. I grew up in a two-parent home.
Yeah.
A loving mother, a loving father, both who tried very much to give me the best of what they knew how.
Yeah.
I always share with my friends that the thing with our parents, we look back now and might want to critique their raising or parenting style. But what we don't realize is they gave us the best of what they knew.
With what they had
at the time.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful for that looking back, because I just see two people who put in their very best. They did what they could. And I'm grateful for that, because that sort of upbringing allowed me then to come to Wits. Came to Joburg in about 2012, and that's where I came to study. Stayed then at Wits longer than I should have. That story. Hey? Yeah. There's a number of people who share that sentiment. I stayed at Wits for about 6 years trying to get my undergrad, got it in 5, and then I attempted to do some extra things that I let go of eventually. And then I started working, stayed here in Joburg still, started working in about 2017, and I started working out in a call center. It wasn't the start that I'd hoped for initially, but I think it's all contributed to the journey. It's contributed to the story, part of which is what we'll be sharing today. I started off there, and then now I'm at a company called Campus and Shaw. I work as an accountant there. But if I have to tell the story of my life, I think there are pivotal moments that I could never leave out. One of the moments is when I came to faith. So I'm a Christian. I came to faith in 2015. Grew up in a household of Christian ethic and Christian belief, but I wouldn't say I was a Christian myself until about 2015, when I got to know the story and the truth of Jesus Christ, and decided to become a follower myself. And I think that will forever be a pivotal moment in my life. One of two. The second was when I met my lovely girlfriend.
Yes.
She's somewhere in the space.
Yeah, no, she's somewhere here behind the scenes. I hope she's smiling.
I hope so too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just to kind of recap on the varsity days, right? So coming to Wits, what was that like for you? You know, with the background that you just said now that your parents did their very best in terms of giving you the life that they thought you deserved. So that experience coming from, let's call it the township, and coming into what they call the big city. What was that transition like?
That transition was a bit rough. And it was a roughness that was quite self-imposed. So the household that I grew up in was somewhat strict and, you know, had its fair share of rules and yeah, just parents trying to raise their child the best way that they knew how. But for me, it felt restrictive a lot of the time. So when I then found out that I was coming to Wits and coming to Joburg to live on my own, I thought this was my big chance to fly. You know, we have this analogy of a chicken that lives in a cage its whole life, and then the day you open it, oh man, I ran a little bit wild. I experienced my bit of freedom, almost overindulged in it. So I think that's what made my experience a bit rough. It was all self-imposed, but again, it's part of what has contributed to my story and my journey, and so I wear that badge. So yeah, the partying, the exposure to different things. The time we dyed our hair, and did a little cut. Yeah, just throw it out there. It's all on Facebook. Just go find it.
If you want the pictures, you'll see them out there.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to kind of see the growth over time from, you know, when we first met to this very moment now. There's just so many things that have happened in between. But I think what I'd want to share is tell the people the year that you kind of cut off the friends because you were determined in now finishing your degree, and then you had to make some changes. So what was that like?
So the year prior to that was 2014. I'd got into my third year of Wits, and I think in that year I'd felt as though there was still so much that I hadn't done. And so I set out in that year to try and do a lot. I joined a school council. I dyed my hair blonde, a patch, it wasn't all of it. I started going out a lot more. I'd come out of a relationship, I think the year before, and so in this year I was going to try to be a single and ready to mingle kind of guy. I had my hand in way too many pots, trying to do way too many things for the first time. And that was the year in which I failed my school year, because if you're so distracted with everything else, the things that are most important or that would demand quite a lot of your time and your effort, you would not give attention to. And so I failed that year.
So, and just kind of wrapping up, what's the one lesson, make sure I get the question right, what's the one lesson from your story that you would like to share with the viewers?
My story is not going to connect with every one of your viewers. I think because we are so varied in like how our stories unfold, there are people for whom the journey looks set. It looks like it's going to amount to something. They know exactly where their lives are going. I'm here for the guys who got 50s. I'm here for the guys who got 50s, but they worked damn hard for those. I'm here for the guys who didn't get the exact thing, but they got opportunities and they were willing to put their foot in the door and see where it would take them. They were willing to take a risk. And I think if anything, from my story you can learn that you don't always start out exactly where you'd want to be, but you definitely need to have an open-mindedness about where life can take you. Specifically if you're not those people who have it set before them, if you don't have the puzzle laid right out in front of you, you need to be willing, if you are a believer like I am, to trust that God is unfolding your story. And if God is good, it will all unfold for His glory and for your good. And what that means is it looks like a lot of uncertainty. It looks like opportunities that don't always make sense, but you need to be willing to take risks, and you need to be willing to get your foot in the door, and once you're in, to put in just your best. No one's going to ask you to put in Keta's best. or someone else's best, just your best.
Wow. Just wow. You never actually shared some of those parts of the story, and I'm glad you came on the show because, wow, I've also learned something of just putting your best foot forward, staying hungry, and just having that openness that not everything will always pan out the way you want, but you always need to find a way just to get back up and get going again. Thank you so much for sharing that story.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, Boitumelo, Lejage. Alright guys, so now it's time to take our guests through what we are calling Namingum Repa. So how the game works is that my producer slash DJ is gonna drop a beat, he's gonna drop a word, and me and my friend are gonna have to rap and using a motivational lyric. Sir, what is your stage name?
My name is MC Mabena.
MC Mabena, and I'm just DJ Folk It Out. Alright, DJ, drop the beat.
So the first word is hope.
First word is hope.
I'm giving you time to think, but it's, yeah.
Alright. Hope. Are you starting? Are you ready?
You can start, man. Check it.
Alright. Hope. I want to spread some hope. Yeah. I want to tell you that no matter what the circumstance, you gotta believe in yourself. Hope is not enough. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. I'm gonna challenge that and say that hope is enough. If you have enough hope, you could be dope.
Oh! If you got dope, if you can't make dope, don't sell dope, don't buy dope, stay away from the dope. Yeah! Believe. Alright, I believe in you, my nigga. I love you, my nigga. I know that you're gonna do great things. And I hope you're watching the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it. Listen, you gotta believe so that you won't leave this world like someone who decides to take their life.
Oh! Believe.
Okay, the next word, pray.
Pray. Pray. Close your eyes now. Close your eyes now. Close your eyes now. Pray with me now. Pray with me now. Dear God, thank you. Dear God, I love you. Dear God, I'm grateful. Dear God, I pray for you.
Mabena.
Yeah,
Mabena in the building. Listen, yo, you gotta let God have a say. So if you want him to do so, you gotta pray.
Last word is growth.
Growth. Now if you look at me, I'm a short ass nigga. But my growth is definitely taller than this nigga. Oh shit, I came out.
Yeah.
Let's go, my pen. Let's go, my pen.
Growth. Yeah. Look. Just like the growth that you'll find on a girl's hair, I'm gonna be tangled up in your life. Oh, that just went south. Oh, black women, we love you.
I'm out.
Black women, we love you. This is not. No.
Let's go.
No.
This brings us to the end of our show. It was such an amazing story that we got to share of Boitumelo Lejage. But before we wrap it up, we're going to do what we're going to be doing with all our guests going forward is the Let's Folk It Out pledge. So the channel or the organization is all about creating a community that is bonded by purpose, passion, and progress. And as such, I feel as if it is a duty then to make sure that everyone takes this pledge. So, my good man, please will you raise your right hand? Right. Yes, and please repeat after me.
Yes, sir.
I, Boitumelo Lejage, do solemnly swear that I will always find the courage to be strong in the face of my fears, that I will show up for my dreams, and that above all, I will remain true to myself and use every last drop of talent. This I swear from this day until my last. And there we go. and to officiate it. Hey, even, please, would you do the honors of signing? This has been the story of Boitumelo, Lejage, and I hope you guys will engage, you'll comment, and you will actually tell us what you think about the story. Just leave the comment in the comment box in the section. Other than that, I've been your host, Boitumelo Sibone. I'll see you next week, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.